Hi and welcome to Let's Start Playing. My name is Henry and today I'm going to be teaching you how to play Seven Wonders. Seven Wonders is a game for 2 to 7 players. The game takes place over 3 rounds in which players will draft 7 cards, playing them out in front of them or into their wonder. At the end of 3 rounds, the player with the most points will be deemed the winner. When you first load into Seven Wonders, you'll be asked which side of your wonder board you wish to play with. This can sometimes be randomized as well. New players are recommended to play the day side on their wonders. So for now I'm going to go ahead and select the day side on my wonder board. Once all players have selected their wonder side, you'll be presented with a screen like this. Along the top of your screen here you have your hand of cards, and on your turn you'll select one of these cards, doing one of 3 actions with it, and then pass your hand in the direction indicated here. In this case we'll pass in it clockwise, so my other 6 cards will go over to Let's Start Playing. So in Seven Wonders, you're going to be trying to amass the most amount of victory points that you can. This is going to be done in many various ways. The victory point symbol is this reef symbol on your wonder board here. So our wonder board, if we build the first stage of our wonder, we get 3 victory points. And if we build the third stage of our wonder, we'll get 7 victory points. The wonder will offer you some guidance as to which early resources to pick up. So in order to build my first stage of my wonder, I will need 2 brick resources. To get these resources, I could select one of these brown cards and play it into my tableau. When you mouse over one of these cards, you'll have 3 available options. The first one is to play the card into your tableau, and with the resource cards, this will give you permanent access to one of these resources. In one that is divided like this, I could use this card to either gain a brick or a gold on my turn, but not both. As we need brick to build this first stage of our wonder, I'm going to select this card and select the top option to play it into my tableau so I get access to these resources. Now that I've decided that I want this card, I need to wait for my other players to make similar decisions with their cards. All players have just played their cards, and you can see this is the card I've just played, and Board Game Arena will hide the rest of the card other than the symbols. However, you can mouse over it to see which card it was that you played. This can be important as you can't play the same card twice, ever. And I can also see which cards both of my opponents played. I've just received a new set of cards passed from Henry's 2, and now have the option to pick one of these cards. These grey resources work similarly to the brown resources in that they provide you a good that you can use to build other cards. Let's go into that in a bit more detail. So your wonder has costs to build certain stages of your wonder, and some cards will have a cost listed just here on the card. So this one will cost 1 stone, this one will cost 1 wood, and this one will cost 1 glass. There are 4 basic resources and 3 of these grey resources. That's how these resources cards work. They do provide you some other benefits, but I'll go into that in more detail in just a moment. We have these blue cards which provide straight up victory points, and some blue cards and other cards will have a symbol in the top right hand corner. This symbol is important as it will allow you to build a future building for free. If you mouse over this card, we can see at the bottom of the card description, future free construction, aqueducts, plus 5 victory points. When you pay a cost for a card, you don't consume the resource, you just need to have enough of the resource in order to pay for the card, and that resource can be used again for the next card. So these blue cards only grant victory points. You have yellow commerce cards, and these will grant various things, normally to do with gold. This card will let me buy resources off my neighbours for 1 coin less. What that means is the player on your left and right are important to you in Seven Wonders. I'll be able to access any resources that they have, either grey or brown resources. And I can access these resources by paying 2 coins per resource that I want to access. This marketplace card reduces that cost to 1 for my players on my left and right, as you can see from the arrows underneath the 1 on the card. This card, however, only lets me purchase the 3 grey resources for 1 coin from my 2 neighbouring cities. We also have these war cards. These will provide military strength. At the end of each round, compare your military strength to your 2 neighbours. Whoever has the most military strength will be rewarded victory points for that round, and if you lose a battle, you'll receive a -1 victory point from losing the battle in that round. The number of points you get increase from round to round. So winning a battle in the first round, it gives you less points than winning a battle in the third round. The rewards are, so for winning in the first age, you'll get 1 point per an opponent you defeat on your left and right. On the second age, you'll get 3 points per an opponent, and in the third age, you'll get 5 points per an opponent. You can defeat one of your opponents and lose to the other one, in which case you would score 5 points for the opponent you defeated if it was the third age, and lose 1 point from being defeated on the player on the other side. All victory points are added up at the end of the game. And the other type of card we have are science cards. These will provide science symbols, and the way science symbols work is that they give you extra points for collecting sets of them. For having a set of all 3 different science symbols at the end of the game, you will get 7 points. You can do this multiple times, so if you have 2 sets of all 3 different symbols, you will get 14 points. These symbols also collect their own sets, so for having 1 of this symbol, you would score 1 point. For having 2 of this science symbol, you would get 4 points, being 2 times 2. If you have 3 of this science symbol in the game, you would get 9 points, being 3 times 3. 4 would give you 16, 5 would give you 25, and 6 would give you 36 points. So you want to avoid letting other players collect too many of the same symbol, whilst trying to collect lots of the same symbol yourself. The other benefit to science cards is that they often give you multiple options to build buildings for free in future rounds. In Board Game Arena, it will give you a quick summary at the top left of every card of which cards you can play for free with a green tick, which cards you can spend money to play, and the amount of money you will need to spend. So I would need to spend 2 coins to play this bath cards into my tableau, as I would need to buy this grey resource from my neighbour, and that would cost me 2 coins. When I buy a resource off my neighbour, I give my money from my supply to their supply. So I directly pay that player. And cards you can't possibly afford will have a red cross, meaning that either the players on your left and right don't have the resources required along with yourself, or you can't afford to pay enough money in order to build this building. Let's look at the other 2 things you can do with a card. One is to use that card to construct a stage of your wonder. And constructing stages of your wonder is just like playing a card. However, the card that you pick will be placed face down and slotted underneath this slot on the wonder. This will also display if you can afford it with a green tick or a yellow tick and the amount you need to pay. So in this case, I need to buy a brick from this neighbour in order to play that card here. Let's go ahead and do that now. So I'm going to put this card under my wonder, and that will stop my opponents from being able to access it. And I would need to pay 2 coins to this neighbour to buy their brick. So I'm going to choose to do that. And that card has now just slotted underneath here, unlocking that first stage of the wonder. Your wonder needs to be built in order, so I can have to build this stage first, this stage second, and this stage third. Some wonders have unique symbols like this one. If you want to find out what they do, you just need to hold your mouse over top of it and it should explain you a quick summary of the rule. This bonus is that this player can build for free the first card of each colour. So in this case, as they've built a brown and a grey building already, they could still build a blue, yellow, red and purple card for free. Now purple cards only come out in age 3 of the game. These will award victory points in slightly different ways to blue cards. Most are self-explanatory, normally relying on what you and your neighbours have built during the game. Some will give you access to a wild science symbol and other various effects. Once you've played 6 of your 7 cards during a round, that round will end and battles will take place. The winner of each battle will be decided and victory tokens earned. You then start a new round using the Age 2 cards, and each player will receive 7 cards from this deck. Players will then get a chance to play 6 of those 7 cards, and play will continue like this until the end of 3 rounds. I'm now going to play out the full game of 7 Wonders, and let you see the scoring conditions at the end of the game. Now I've shot ahead and finished a game of 7 Wonders. So at the end of the game, you'll score for all of the following. So first you'll count up all of your conflict points and see how many points you've scored overall. I'm going to be showing you from the perspective of Henry's here. So in this case, Henry's has scored 5 points. And if we look up here, we can see we scored 1 point from the first stage, 3 points twice from the second stage from beating both of my rivals, and then lost 2 battles over the course of the game, averaging out to 5 points. We also score 1 point for every 3 coins we have left over at the end of the game. I had 11 coins, into 3 points rounding down. You score points for your wonder. So I have achieved 10 points on my wonder. Score all of your civilian cards, which are your blue cards. I only played 1 civilian card during the game, which is this 3-point card here. So I scored 3 points for that. Score all of your science cards. So in this case, I had played all of these science cards. I got 16 points from these compasses, being 4 times 4. I got 1 point from each of this school and laboratory, giving me 18 points. And I also got 7 points for having a set of 1 of each. So I'll get plus 7, bringing me a total of 25. I didn't get any points from yellow cards during the game, and I got 4 points from a guild card, which was giving me 1 point per red military card both of my neighbours had played. In this case, it was 4, 2 on this side, and 2 on this side. Add all those up, and my total was 50 points. My opponents got 45 and 40 points, so I had managed to win this game. One other thing I didn't mention at the start of this video is that you can purchase the pre-printed resource from your neighbours on their starting board. So include this like a card that they've played, but it doesn't actually count as a card in itself. Every faction will have 1 pre-printed resource. This has been Let's Start Playing. My name's Henry. Please like and subscribe to this channel if you like this video. And good luck playing 7 Wonders. It's a great first game to get into on Board Game Arena. The implementation is excellent. Thanks for watching.